Canadian-born and a Roanoker by choice, Thomas Becher followed his parents to the Valley from Minnesota some years ago. He now runs an award-winning advertising and public relations agency after first working for the now-defunct John Lambert creative firm. Becher, a graduate of the journalism school at Northwest University in Chicago, was a reporter and editor for the Associated Press before beginning his PR career at the University of Connecticut. He came to Roanoke after a stint as media relations manager for Northwest Airlines. During his tenure, he dealt with a commuter airline crash and labor strikes. Becher has earned a certificate of accreditation in public relations from the Public Relations Society of America and is a past president of the Blue Ridge chapter. Now, as president of TBA, the Becher Agency, he and his creative staff work with a variety of clients in the Roanoke Valley. Every business can communicate better, says Thomas Becher. Nothing can't be overcome through effective communications. Thomas Becher, welcome to the interview.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You went from being at one of the most highly respected schools of journalism in the country at Northwest University, and I'm sure you probably rubbed shoulders with some well-known journalists. But when did you decide that you'd rather create media events rather than cover them?
You know, I think it was a lifestyle decision. I started my journalism career with the Associated Press, and that is notoriously hard-grinding, late nights. I don't mind working hard. I do work hard, but it was the different hours and so on and so forth. And so even at 27 years old, I figured out there's got to be a better way. And going into a daily newspaper or TV wasn't going to do it. So right. I kind of said, okay, how do I harness my journalism skill set with my interest in business and so on and so forth. So that's what happened.
Did that media background, does that give you insight now? Does that help you now, Thomas, as far as when you're creating a program or a campaign? Does it help you to figure out how to touch a nerve to get coverage?
Absolutely. I mean, I know how journalists think and what they need, right? This isn't about trying to sell journalists on a story. It is in a sense, but I really want to make their job easier for them. They are under deadline pressure. They are looking for certain stories. I can deliver that. It also helps because I can understand messaging and how important it is to understand it, for the public to understand a certain message or program. So that training plus writing skills came in handy.
I want to talk about one of the programs that you had a big hand in helping to develop, and this was a program where US Airways Magazine did a whole spread on Roanoke, and full disclosure, I participated in this as well with the writing part. How did this come about where US Airways Magazine, I mean a magazine that's potentially seen by millions of people, came to little old Roanoke?
Well, through my client, the Roanoke Regional Partnership, we knew we had a good story to tell about the region. They had changed their focus from primarily, luring manufacturing, luring boxes where people work, to more lifestyle. In other words, it's a great place for entrepreneurs, a great place to live, the outdoors and that sort of thing. So it was kind of a cool story. And having worked in the airline business, I understand how in-flight magazines work and how the captive audience that there is.
Right.
And on a whim, I said, hey, I've got a great story for you. I know you only do about 5 or 6 of these a year, but how about Roanoke? And here's why. And they bid on it right away, and we worked with them. It was an editorial coverage supported by advertising, but it was really, Roanoke had a good story to tell, and they saw that.
How much did having the Taubman Museum help draw that that iconic image?
I think the Taubman, for many people malign it. I happen to love it as far as both the structure and the programming, but I think it brings a little bit of big city panache to the region, and I think people from bigger cities can maybe identify better that, hey, this is a progressive area and they are doing some neat things.
You've won a slew of awards in the past. I know you just won a statewide award for the Med Cottage, this little portable medical home. You've won Addy Awards from the American Advertising Federation. You have a small agency. What's your secret, or you guys just all work incredibly hard, or what's the secret?
I think we've got a great team. When I hire, I look at culture, making sure it's a cultural fit. It's a very talented team, a diverse team. We have different skill sets. I have a PR background. I have a writing background. That's kind of who I am. I am not an advertising guy, but I run an advertising agency. So I make sure that we have a great team that in addition to me, obviously understands advertising and messaging and the creative aspect of it.
And what type of clients do you work with? Is it sort of a variety of clients?
It's a lot of heavy hitters in town and throughout the region. It's a variety of industries, ranging from economic development to manufacturing, to retail, high tech. We do a lot of high tech work both here in the Roanoke Valley as well as Blacksburg and the NRV. So it is most of what we do is in the region, but we do have clients coast to coast.
There's several organizations, Thomas, that are trying to sell the Roanoke area to the outside world.
Right.
And of course, that's part of what happened with the U.S. Airways thing, trying to sell Roanoke to the outside world. What's the key to that? I mean, if you were to say, okay, we're going to sell this, and you've been involved in this, what's the key to selling Roanoke to either to attract visitors or to attract new residents?
I think the natural beauty has got to be factored in, both from a visitor perspective, if you look at the Blue Ridge Parkway and so on. And nowadays, entrepreneurs, companies can set up shop anywhere. So they look at things of quality of life, cost of living, which is very low here, the ability to, say, take a mountain bike ride up up Mill Mountain at lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really, really cool factors that people are looking at. They're tired of the rat race of big cities. I've lived in some very big cities.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand no traffic and
Right.
the stuff that we enjoy here.
And you're an outdoor guy yourself.
Yeah, and I get on the trail often, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for that. And I think people understand that quality of life is a really critical part of it. And so it helps to tell the story of Roanoke, to say, look, we've got all of this at once, and you can still have your business, you can still have access to great markets in other cities, but this is a great community to live in.
Hmm. Now you're working with some environmental groups, citizens groups in the city and the county on a Save a Ton campaign, where you're basically trying to find what will get people, what will move the needle as far as getting people to go greener.
Mm-hmm.
And just talk about when you start a campaign like that, do you kind of put yourself in that mindset and say, okay, what's going to make me go greener? Is it money saving, or is it save the environment, or what?
Well, we start with a lot of research, and it can be qualitative or quantitative. It could be informal or formal. Certainly, among our group, we poll ourselves, and I make sure that we have some diverse backgrounds. We have a common or a diverse opinion base. But we kind of say, what do you think the message is here? Let's go ask our friends. Let's go ask some of our other clients who, let's go ask our parents. Let's go ask people in a certain demographic. Mm-hmm. From that initial research, then we come up with some ideas. I think to really make a difference when it comes to energy reduction, you really have to hit the pocketbook. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where we're leaning toward. I guess stay tuned for the results of that.
Right.
But with energy costs rising, I think it's a great opportunity to talk about it again.
Right, and by the way, if you can help the environment,
That's
maybe
a bonus.
A bonus
Yeah.
for some people, that
Yeah.
type of thing. You're a Canadian by birth, and you
Yep.
came here. You followed your parents here, actually,
Yes,
to Roanoke Valley.
My parents have been in the area for 25 years. My first time here was freshman year in college, flying in from Chicago, going, what the heck is this?
What's a Roanoke? Yeah.
There's cows here,
Yeah.
But it turned out, fast forward later, it's a great place to raise a family and establish a business. And obviously, when you're a college student, you don't think that. I tell college students now, I said, if you can get that great job in PR in DC, go for it. But I'll tell you what, in a few years, you'll be looking for quality of life, as did I when I was at the AP at 27, going, there's got to be a better way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to leave it there. Thomas Becher, the TBA, the Thomas Becher Agency. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate having me.
Our guests today have been Cyrus Pace, Executive Director at Jefferson Center, and Thomas Becher, President of TBA, the Becher Agency. I'm Gene Marrano. You can look for me in the Roanoke Star-Sentinel, Valley Business Front, and in Play-by-Play magazine. And don't forget, you can watch segments of the interview online at YouTube. Just search by my name. Until next time, take care.